Good evening, class. My name is Billy Jo Byerly. I'm going to be talking about global outsourcing. This is our seminar, my seminar 2 for week 3 and 4 for Legal Environment of Global Organizations for National American University online. What is global outsourcing? Global outsourcing is using companies or organizations outside a company's native country to do work for them or provide a service. Companies often do this because it's cheaper than what its native country is able to do. An example of this would be many fabrics are not necessarily made but sewn together in India. They do this because the labor is very cheap in India. There's many people in one central location looking for manufacturing jobs, and the labor laws there are fairly lax. The shipping and the logistics part of outsourcing to India can be a challenge, but most of the time the pros outweighs the cons in this situation. So is global outsourcing ethical? Global outsourcing is not illegal, but does that make it ethical? So just because a company is following all the rules and regulations and international law, are they ethically doing the right thing? Living in America, we're able to run businesses the way that we choose to, as long as they're not illegal. So they may not be ethical, but as long as they're not illegal and they're following all the regulations and protocols and paying all the taxes and fees and tariffs that they're supposed to, they are able to run their business. Global outsourcing is not illegal, but many people believe it's unethical, especially here in the United States. It's actually one of the things that we talk about on the presidential candidates campaigning and their platforms on the ethical part of it. Because when businesses outsource, they are taking jobs away from Americans and taking them to other countries. But as long as the business is outreaching and their pay is well and they're doing they're providing a clean environment that follows the regulations of that country, it is not illegal. Now that does not mean it's unethical or it's ethical. Some of the laws in Mexico are much more lax or India than they are in the United States. They're providing jobs though for these people and adding to their economy, but they could be taking away jobs from Americans and from our economy. But they're also providing producing a good that is much cheaper now because of the labor was so cheap going into it. There's a lot of things to look at there. So it's not being ethical. The wages are not competitive, the conditions are not clean, and they're not following the international laws. That's when it's unethical. But as long as they're following those things and they're treating their employees with respect and good wages, then it is ethical, and it's up to that business if they want to run it that way or not. But is outsourcing good for the global economy? I will tell you, every article that you read, you get another person's perspective on this. It was very, very interesting to read through online articles, National American University online articles, just Google articles on what different countries believe in and what different people believe in. A lot of Americans believe that the factories that are businesses that are from America should have all their factories right here in the United States of America and provide jobs for American people. By doing this, though, the prices of our goods would be more expensive because Americans are more expensive to hire. It's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is if we're doing businesses for providing jobs for other countries, is the global economy benefiting from this? And many, many people say, yeah, the global economy is benefiting from that. You can read any article you want and decide what you just want to. You can find somebody to agree with you or disagree with you. After reading and studying the last 2 weeks and the last 4 weeks in this course, I believe that outsourcing is good for the global economy. I believe this because we're providing job opportunities in places like India, Mexico, the Middle East, some of the foreign countries. I do think, however, that there has to be some more global emphasis on ensuring that they are not sweatshops, that these people are coming to work in a good environment, that they're getting paid acceptable wages for that country, that the business itself is taking care of these people and not just getting cheap labor. But at the end of the day, in America, the greatest part about living here is we get to make those decisions ourselves. And as consumers, we need to do a better job of making sure we're buying products that we want to stand behind and the businesses that we want to stand behind. If there's a business owner, it's your right to do and produce goods where you want to, as long as you're following the laws. And you are the one that have to sleep with your decision at the end of the day. Some of the sources that I got this from were from Dahl, Godford, and Ugg. All very different sources, different ideas on it, but very interesting. This overall was probably my favorite project that we've worked on. I hope you all learned something, and I look forward to listening to your recordings.